Why, hello there. Hello, Dr. Snorlax, and hello anyone else who is present. We started weird. This took an extra 10 minutes more than I thought, and I'm not technically even set up, because rather than setting up the spooky atmosphere, I was fixing technical difficulties. Also, you can't currently see me. Now, one might ask, why? Why did the stream crash for no reason? Did I forget to run it as administrator? No. Did I forget to close Chrome tabs? Yes, but I fixed that for the first crash. That was more, I need those open to read. So, we're starting this one scuffed. Alright. So. Not that. This one, hello. Why, hello there. You can't see. There we go. There it is. Hello. Yes, there's a desk in front of me. Yes, I'm going to take time momentarily to set it up. Hello. I am Marin, your corrupted winter angel VTuber. That's right. I am half angel, half demon. I am a Nephilim, as you see. Yes, that means the same thing. We're rolling with that. Hello, Tulip Fairy as well. Sorry for the delay. I don't understand why the crashing had happened twice. Luckily, it's just starting soon screen. I can delete those VODs. Can you count just 5 minutes of a starting soon screen as a VOD? Yes, according to Twitch systems, but still, I don't know why they crashed. I don't expect them to crash again. If they do, I will reset the stream entirely, which I don't want to do, but will do if I must. I did try to, as an aside, make the background extra super spooky by making a transparent or translucent grayish background, layering it on top. It looked awful, and then because of all the scuffed up nature of the crashing, I didn't want to spend more time just making another one, although that would be hilarious beginning to the stream. But welcome, one and all, to Spooky Remnants Week, the grand final. Did I send out the tweet, or was I too busy fixing the? I don't think I sent out the tweet. Hang on, that's important. That's important. People that use my Twitter to know when my stream started won't know. Luckily, I already wrote most of it. Wonderful. We're starting off strong and very unspooky, and also I have none of the spooky paraphernalia on. So that's interesting. Let's go Twitter. Come now, please. Everything is working fine. Nothing's broken. I'm making tea. Da 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 da. Ba 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 da da. There we go. Tweet has been sent. And it looks all fancy, kind of. I wanted to put more effort into it. Minimal effort. It's fine. We're here now. So, the goal for today, also I will be turning off the BGM because I don't feel like this is very Halloween-esque. And I probably could find some to play. Might try doing that. Maybe. Why don't I do? We're here. I'll just turn on desktop audio for all to hear once that happens. You know what? Maybe I won't do that. Maybe we'll just live in abject silence. That might be a choice. I know the BGM's on right now because we haven't started it, but yes, I will set up all of the musical. Oh, wait, you can't hear that. I freaked out. Thought a loud noise played. We're fine. We're absolutely fine. But did I say... Right, introduction. Did I do that properly? I introduced myself, Nephilim VTuber. Here in my bright daytime cabin. Yes, this is the most sophisticated we have ever done. Yeah, okay, we're not doing these. Not doing them. That's unlikely to be of use. Possible. Yes, okay, we're not doing that. Yes, we're gonna probably turn the BGM off so that it's more spooky and fitting. But I believe now is a good time to pop over to the Be Right Back screen. And then I continue that thought process. Absolutely, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm merely setting up the scene. I set the desk up, put the rest stuffed up a bit, and now we are doing this. Everything is mildly laggy for no reason. There, where I'm setting the scene. You're witnessing prime content. I'm being weirdly overconfident. Okay. Then. Well, you may hypothetically be able to hear my kettle as well. That's unlikely. I could barely hear it, but maybe you can. Loud beeping noise. Very spooky. But yes, the goal. Wait. Hang on. Let me set up the basis for the scene, and then we'll. This one might take a moment. But yes, the goal for today is to read spooky stories. Luckily, nothing has crashed. We're doing one. Nothing has crashed again. Let me clarify. Nothing has crashed again so far. I'm setting up the scene, making it super Halloween-esque. We can't have the darkness, so we're going to have thematically themed imagery. This. Go. Those good there. And then we are going to put. I realize you know nothing of what I'm doing. I'm setting up. I'm leaving suspense. Narrative suspense. That's exactly what I'm doing. Absolutely 100% intentionally. Suspense is being had. I hope you're suspended. You're not suspended in midair. You're being suspenseful. I've scaled everything very poorly. Well, technically speaking, that's a scale. Did I pin? Oh, wonderful. We're doing amazing. That's good. That's good there. And two more. The spooky sheet is returning. That's another thing that is happening. Also, this is the first time I've actually realized that there is a functional search button that I have never, ever used in this location. Because I'm smart. The spooky sheet might in and of itself just move down. Yes, I might improve that as a concept. Alright, let's go. One, and then the grand final. I understand how riveting this content is. This was meant to be done before, but the crashing happened. Yes. This is the layer I want this on. This is getting very confused. Oh, wonderful, it's crashed. Hello, VOD. We are currently experiencing the first crash of the functional stream. Stream, good. Hello, and welcome back. Hello. Hang on, I'm typing that to the chat. Hello. We are back. Refresh. Please. Refresh. Welcome back. Luckily I have the okay. Everything's working splendidly. I'm just going to hold off momentarily for people's connections to refresh. Honestly, I don't know what's happening. Why is it crashing today? I have no clue. We spent many a time. Well, I believe now is the proper time to show off what has been happening. Oh goodness, I'm not. There we go, that's good. We're good, we're good. I'm good, I'm ready. And we are here and present. Welcome to the grand final of Spooky Remnants Week. Ooh, so spooky. I'm probably going to move the spooky sheet down because you can't see it, period. So I'm going to have it, actually, I layered this in a way that I find enjoyable. There we go. It's going to be typing at the keyboard. Oh, but that's going to move with me. That's not pleasant. It looks like it's not typing it. Bobbing around now. See the... What if I put it here? Oh wait, no. Here. Peeking its... Wait, no. Oh. Peeking out in the corner. Peeking out in the corner. I actually like that. That's cute. Yes. So, as of... Oh, and now the bubble tea is... There we go. Let's put that there. There we go. That's pleasant location. There we go. Welcome to Spooky Remnants Week, the grand final. Hopefully we don't crash for no reason again. Thank you. No, thank you. Luckily it was during the preamble stage, so we are fine. We're absolutely fine. But today's goal, in specific, is to read a bunch of spooky stories. Now, I have specific stories in mind. I don't know how long they'll take because I didn't have time to proofread them. My goodness, today was busy. Yes, were we an hour late? Yes. Was I technically late even though I rescheduled a little bit? Still yes. Oh my goodness, still yes. We're still in that phase. And I didn't have time to set up my lightings. Instead, we're doing splendid. Yes! The time has come! We are here! We are present! I might want to hard reset this for some reason. I should have that weird... Crashes again, I'll do that. I will do that. But it shouldn't be causing a problem. I say as it lags. Alright, fighting the Scuffed to get to the stream content? Sure, that tends to happen. Also help. Okay. Okay. Why is it telling me my stream is unstable? Poor network connection. I have a good network connection! Why is today of all days? It seems the internet has chosen that today we will be Scuffed for our grand final. This stream's intended length will be 1.5 to 2 hours because I don't think it'll take longer than that. But if it does, that's fine. But yes, I have spooky candles, spooky tea, and this time we have spooky tea. Hat instead of the sheet. The sheet is, you know what, why don't we put the sheet, oh, not in the bin. Put this here. I like that. I like there. I like there, actually. Peeking out. It's being cute. Being cute. It's being all spooky. I like it. It's thematic. We're doing splendidly. Alright. So the goal for today, I am going to start with reading some SCPs, or Special Containment Foundation, what that acronym is in full, for the first time, followed up by a public domain horror story that I've never read, and hope it is good. It should be good. Followed up by a creepypasta, followed up by another public domain short story, and then followed up by a specific SCP, specifically SCP-3000. Now, what is SCP? You may or may not be asking. If you're not asking it, then you are more knowledgeable than me and will likely be disappointed. So, I, also if we still have a lot of time between that and the other information, this, hold on, everything went all wibbly wobbly. Deciding the window for my personal functional use. Alright, here we go. That should be better for me. I can't really see my own face, but that's fine. We're in spooky time. That's not. Please tell me that Chrome won't. Alright, spooky time! Oh, spooky. Also, I believe it is now time to cut the BGM. I'm also wearing headphones for no audio playing, and I'm just going to have loud, creaky headphone. Although I suppose knowing if the stream crashes again for no reason. No. Good thing to know, but we will know. I also should grab the tea, but I will do the introductory reasoning first. So, the SCP Foundation, or Secure, is a in-universe, or not in-universe. It's a website and a community in general that has spooky horror story-esque things, but they are done in relation, such as reports by researchers, meaning that it treats everything as if it were real. Now, if we're going by Midsummer Night's Dream rules, you don't think it's real, then it's a dream. Or be a rational person and think it's not real because it's not real, because these stories, don't be freaked out. It's fiction, we're good, we're fine. But I have never read an SCP. I've had them read in other streams of the same ilk to me, but I thought that it was good fun primer if I were to read the introduction form and then find a couple at random and hope they're not too absorbently long. If they are, that'll extend the stream. That would be plan 1. Plan 2, read public domain short story. Plan 3, read a creepypasta that I have heard read on a stream before. And I was going to proofread. I didn't have time to do that. So we are reading that. I know there's cursing in it that I will be censoring. That's also vaguely common, but other than that, it should probably, hopefully be fine. Then read another public domain story, and then read the one SCP that I vaguely remember and really enjoy. Also, it's vaguely long. But I do believe that now is the quick time. I've spent 8 minutes doing this, and 10 minutes prepping. Ended. I'm gonna quickly grab the tea that I need to have honey at so that my throat doesn't hurt. I realize this will be literally an hour and a half to 2 hours of me reading, but I'm gonna greatly enjoy. I hope you will as well. We're here, and put this back on. He achieved. I have returned. Hello and welcome. I'm gonna turn the break. Had fun. Good lighting. Now, BGM back off. So, let's read the SCP, Foundation Researcher Introduction Hub. I might turn the BGM back on at some point. Unlikely, but possible. Being an eerie silence, not the best feeling of dream. Welcome to the SCP Foundation Research. It's likely been a difficult journey to find yourself where you are today. Having to be scouted out by people you've never met and invited to exams and interviews for a position hold of, you can imagine you have a few questions, whether it be who you are, who is here with you, or why you were chosen to be. We've just crashed again, Vaughn. Hello and welcome back. I'm going to probably hard restart the stream, and I'll just do a speedy version of the intro for those that wish to check it out. Of course, nothing seems to be functioning, so I'm going to try one thing. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so I'm going to hard reset. Problems. Hello, stream. I'm gonna hard reset this. If you're watching this portion of the VOD, apologies. We're starting now, or going to be starting now. Let's give everyone who is here a moment to file in. But I believe that now the problem should be fixed, hopefully, maybe, probably, hopefully. Hello! Hello and welcome to my apparently very, very scuffed stream. Luckily, The crashing only happened 5 times. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't running as administrator, so I restarted to do that. And no, it's not the restarting the computer thing, which you should do when you stream. You should always restart your computer. It just chose to be like this today because internet. Apparently the connection is still unstable, so it might just be my internet today, which is truly unfortunate. Yes, apparently, yes, poor network connection for functional reason. Truly a shame. But we will keep on rolling through, and if the crashing goes out, we should be able to run through the VOD rather quickly, because as of next week, getting the all up on you. I know I've been saying that for a while, but truly, that time, get done. It'll be a grand old time. Alright, so I should do a quick introduction if you're checking out the VOD and you're thinking, what the heck happened to all the other streams? Hello, I am Modern Freescythe, your corrupted winter angel, yes, Nephilim VTuber, half angel, half demon, absolutely my day today. We're gonna read through horror stories, starting with some SCPs, then some public domain short story stuff, then creepypasta, then more short story, then more SCP. It's a nice rounded sandwich. Also, this should take a certain number of time. If we're taking together all the crashes together, this stream has already been half an hour and we haven't done anything yet. Thank you, internet, for not functioning. Hooray! So, we're going to cut the BGM, be atmospheric, and that also means that I might be able to edit in spooky music later. That might be the plan. Maybe, maybe, yes, maybe. Absolutely. So that's what the likely culprit of having the poor internet will be rectified later. Not the poor internet. For recording, it shouldn't be all cut up. We should be good. Hopefully everything works. Hopefully, yes, good. Oh goodness, wow, it's been a long time. I'm gonna start now. Oh boy, don't want to count the first 30 minutes as stream time. But here we go. So, SCP. It's a website / community / friend movement that encompasses games and creepypasta type things, other narrative functions. Wow, my momentum is gone, but we're doing our best. We're doing our best because it's Spooky Month. Please let the expression still work this way. Splendid, speed talking over, but we're going to start by jumping into SCP as if we've never been here before. Because other than 1 and 2 stories, one of which I've forgotten, one of which we're going to cover later, I have never read an SCP for myself. I've listened to people read SCP. They're fun. But yes, Special Containment Foundation, where we contain normal, supernatural activity. Could be aliens, could be ghosts, could be unknown things. We're going to start with the introduction hub. So, Terminal Session ID, error / out of bounds. Welcome to the SCP Foundation. Oh wait, from automated message to junior research. Welcome to the SCP Foundation. It has likely been a difficult journey to find yourself where you are today. Having to be scouted out by people you've never met before, invited to exams and interviews for a position you were never fully told of. You can imagine you already have a few questions, whether it be where you are, who is here with you, or why you were chosen to be. Many of these questions we will not be able to answer. Some of those we will. In the interest of not making new personnel go through their first several weeks guessing what each task force site and acronym actually stands for, we compiled all that information you'd reasonably need and given in a single automated message sent to every new recruit's personal inbox. We recommend going over these at your earliest convenience. About the SCP Foundation. Our mission statement. A word from the administrator and other miscellaneous information we'd expect of new recruits to be aware of. Object class. A rundown of standard anomaly classification systems and of each designation and of what each I can do language. A rundown of the standard anomaly classification system and what each bring into the scene for blinking is important. Blinking is important indeed. I appreciate the concept of blinking. A rundown of standard anomaly classification systems and what each designation says about its respective item. Required reading for new researchers. Information regarding esoteric object classes may be found here. We're not doing this. Is actually a long document. That's fine. Security clearance levels. How our classification system works. Violation of clearance levels is grounds for instant contract termination and likely taking of amnesiacs, I believe, or ms. I can truly read this word. If I remembered where I was, this might be the dumbest start to a spooky stream ever. Fictional legal documentation, truly the most riveting of all possible spooky stories. That is true. No. Let's be honest. This is the scariest thing of all. The true scariest thing of all. Legal documentation. Legal documentation. So spooky. Right. Oh. Amnesthetic cessation. That's the pronunciation I'm going with. I know that's wrong. So take this information to heart. Secure facilities. An explanation of what sites or area designation stands for, along with what to expect at such locations. Research departments. Due to the vast amount of anomalous items in our possession, we have multiple operational departments, each focusing on a different aspect of our research. Curiosity, knowledge of, curiosity, knowledge of these sectors may assist you when handling unknown objects. Mobile Task Force are highly specialized containment teams. Depending on the anomaly, you may require a different kind of expertise than what you personally know. Okay, I'm gonna look up what that word means. I'm gonna look up what this word means. Right, you can't hear the desktop audio, right? So you won't hear Google. I don't hear Google. That might make a difference. That might make a minor difference. The good old singing systems. Cursory. That's the word, cursory. I've never seen that spelt before. I don't need this headset on, by the way. I know you can't see it, but we're not going to wear it because we don't have any use for that. General function. No? I feel like I'm going to go through a lot of tea today because my throat's already hurting. Apparently doing almost 5 days in a row of streaming with one day where you feel your day off where you feel not great tends to take a toll. Don't talk for 5 days in a row, introverts. I'm having a good time though. I hope you are. At least cursory. This will be a much better VOD, I promise. So a cursory knowledge of this list may help during times of crisis, and a more complete list of task forces can be viewed here, not doing that right now, if you possess the appropriate clearance levels. The personnel dossier, a list of superior to, yes, that's the word, fellow workmates and individuals of particular interest. This list is mostly redacted to personnel of lower security clearance, so do not be alarmed if you cannot see any names on this. Groups of interest, a list of other organizations aware of the anomalous. A list of more minor groups of interest may be found here. Lastly, Class K end of the world scenarios, as a reminder of what horrors lurk in the dark. Let's not click that right now. Additionally, as you are presented with a list, as you are presently listed as a junior researcher, here's a few resources you may use in order to get a better understanding of the anomalous and its or lack thereof. The log of anomalous items, a list of objects contained by the Foundation which do not currently warrant an SCP designation and containment procedures. A number of these items are available for testing purposes upon request. The log of extranormal events, an internal reminder of unusual events which occur too suddenly for the Foundation intervention of designation. The log of unexplained locations, for locations that are presently anomalous but do not warrant any more Foundation attention than basic concealment procedures. The Nexus Hub, a list of anomalous locations inhabited by a permanent community, necessitating a more diplomatic approach to their containment. Basically, stuff with people. Stuff with people is what that one is. If you have more questions, ask your assigned senior researcher. Reminder that there is a considerable likelihood that your questions will have a classified answer, and that you may receive a response. Okay. Welcome again, recruit. Good luck. Truly, absolutely terrifying. Legal proceedings. Fictional legal proceedings. Alright, well, let's see where to dig through first. This is absolutely functionality of a great train wreck. Now, what to click on first. Let's see. Why don't we click on the abject classes thing? A comprehensive list of, okay, not SCP by series. Like clicking SCP by series. SCP-001, the first SCP, is blocked and classified. That is noted. Now, I don't know how long any of these are. Let's see. Archived SCPs. Article preserved due to their use in additional material or staff preview. There are joke SCPs, apparently. That's a fun little note. Let me read. SCP. Okay, first of all, let me read how long this is. Okay, it's not long. The first SCP is unavailable to us as it's classified. That's very fitting of this containment. We're going to read SCP-002, which is the living room. Not living room as in the room which you reside and lounge in, but the room that is alive. Alright. Item SCP-002. Object class, Elucid. Special containment procedures. SCP-002 is to remain connected to a suitable power supply at all times, to keep it in what appears to be a recharging mode. In case of electrical outage, an emergency barrier between the object and the facility is to be closed and the immediate area evacuated. Once facility power is reestablished, alternating bursts of X-ray and ultraviolet light must strobe the area until SCP-002 is reaffixed to the power supply, and returned to recharging mode. Containment area is to be kept at a negative air pressure at all times. image depicted on screen currently. I'm in this state. This is better. Teams including a minimum. Yes, air pressure, right. Teams including a minimum of 2 members are required within 20 meters of SCP-002 or its containment area. Personnel should maintain physical contact with one another at all times to confirm there is another present person, as perception may be diluted, skewed, or influenced by the proximity of the object. No personnel below level 3 are permitted within SCP-002. This requirement may be waived via written authorization from 2 off-site level 4 administrators. Command staff issued such a waiver must be escorted by at least 5 level 3 security personnel for the duration of their contact and must temporarily surrender their rank and security clearance. Following contact, command staff will be escorted at least 5 kilometers from SCP-002 to undergo a 72-hour quarantine and physical evaluation. If deemed fit for return to duty by psych staff, rank and security clearance may be restored when quarantine expires. Description: SCP-002 resembles a tumorous, fleshy growth. Oh gods. Resembles a tumorous, fleshy growth with a volume of roughly 60 square meters. I'm not going to read the feet. An iron valve hatch on one side leads to its interior, which appears to be a standard low-rent apartment of modest size. What am I reading? One wall of the room possesses a single window, though no such opening is visible from the exterior. The room contains furniture which, upon closer inspection, appears to be sculpted bone, woven hair, and various other biological substances. Okay. Produced by the human body. All matter tested thus far shows independent or fragmented DNA sequences of each object in the room. Refer to Mulhausen report, cross-reference to a big long document, for detail related to object discovery. Reference. To date, subject has been responsible for the disappearance of several personnel, but we've learned where it's got its furniture from. It has also, in its time at the facility, further furnished itself with 2 lamps, a throw rug, television, a radio, a beanbag, chair, 3 books, in an unknown language, 4 children's toys, and a small potted plant. Tests with a variety of lab animals include higher primates have failed to provoke a response. I'm not approving of that. That's a bad. We don't do the animal testing here, but that's good that it didn't do anything. Cadavers as well failed to produce any effect. Whatever process the subject uses to convert organic matter into furniture is apparently only facilitated by the introduction of living human beings. Oh, the big old docket report about finding the thing. So this is the Mulhausen report, dossier, big long number. That's not important. The following is a brief detailing the discovery of SCP-002. Subject was discovered in a small crater in northern Portugal, where I'll start that sentence over. Subject was discovered in a small crater in the northern Portugal. Almost got that correct. Subject was discovered in a small crack in northern Portugal, where it struck to the Earth from orbit. Encased in a shell of thick rock. The fleshy exterior of the object was exposed by the A native farmer happened upon the site and reported his findings to the village elder. Subject gained SCP attention when a level 4 agent posted in the area detected a small radioactive anomaly generated by the object. A collection squad of SCP security personnel, led by General Mulhassan, was immediately dispatched to the area where they quickly secured the subject in a large container and performed initial testing with subjects recruited from the village. 3 men individually sent into the structure subsequently disappeared. Upon discovering the deadly property of the subject, General Mohassan issued a Level 4A termination order for any witness, roughly 1/3 of the village. My goodness! To ensure no outside knowledge of the object and initiated its transport to SCP facility. Data expunged. My goodness, I mean, I know we're doing horror stuff, but my goodness, that's in and of itself troubling. During preparation, 4 SCP security personnel were inexplicably drawn inside the object, where they too immediately disappeared. Following inspection, it appears as if the object has grown several new furnishings, and was beginning to look like the interior of an apartment room. General Mohassan immediately ordered the requisition of several Class 3 hazmat suits from the remaining security team members. Proceeded to lift the container onto a waiting fragment ship for transport to the SCP. Data expunged and data. Following the termination of General. Wait, what? What? I mean. Right? Following the termination of General Mohassan, SCP-002 was resecured by SCP staff and brought into special containment where it currently resides. Staff with clearance below level 3 have been denied access to the SCP-002 container without proof or prior approval of at least 2 level 4 staff after the Mohassan incident. Alright, so the entire thing went all spooky. That's horrifying. Well, now blend it. Let's check out. I'm gonna scroll at random and see one that has a cool name, and then we'll hop over to the public domain stories. That is indeed the goal. Hydrating. Yeah, my throat's not happy with it. Hopefully this will be on the shorter side. I don't think we'll be short on any foreign of. That's not a good name I like. Sure, SCP-944, the Mirror Maze, because why not? And it's got a big old infinite mirror. Okay, how long is this one? Shorter and has a lot of name redacted stuff. Item number SCP-944. Object class Elucid. I don't know other object classes. Those are the only 3 I've seen. The 2 that I've read so far, and the 1 we will get to later. Rating positive 203. I don't know what that's just. Alright, I'm gonna quickly skim this before I read that. Special containment or you know what, let's. And I'm obviously clearly sight reading, but enjoy this. I'm gonna have to make more tea if this is tea I'm getting through it because I need it for the honey and the caffeine. Special containment procedures. SCP-944 is to be surrounded by a 3-meter high opaque fence, both to prevent outside access and to allow experimentation unobserved by the public. SCP-944 is officially listed as a condemned building, and construction signs are posted to explain the fenced-off area. Level 1 agent wearing redacted amusement park security uniform are to guard the area and prevent unauthorized access. Non-D class personnel entering SCP-4 are cautioned to follow the blue floor lines, indicating safe paths. The Hall of Fun is off limits due to possible exposure to anomalous effects. D-class personnel must be outfitted with I have to lean in to see what that says. Sub 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 subcutaneous GPS location transmitters before being permitted to enter SCP-944. Description: SCP-944 is a single-story building outfitted with a mirror maze, formerly an attraction at Redacted Amusement Park in Redacted. After a number of anomalous effects were observed, the building was secured by the Foundation. As the effect appears to be localized, the remainder of the park is open to the public. That's horrifying. Just there's an SCP living in an amusement park. I mean, I'm sure that's not. Again, this is me as a newbie reading through all this stuff. Junior researcher on Halloween, drinking tea with a witch's hat. Periodically, individuals entering SCP-944 are capable of walking off the interior path through the maze, the intended path through the maze, and into the mirrors. Despite extensive experimentation, the Foundation has been unable to predict when and where anomalies will occur, or the effects of walking through. In addition, the distortion mirrors found in the Hall of Fun are sometimes capable of producing permanent distortions in the people viewing them. My goodness. Wonder if that dictates that it's similar to another SCP. SCP-944 was built in 2006 and operated normally until Incident 944-U1 occurred. It is unknown what initiated SCP-944's anomalous Incident 944-U1. Date: mostly redacted, except we know that it happened after the year 2000. A 53-year-old male emerged from the maze, claiming to have been lost in the maintenance tunnels for 3 days. SCP-944 does not contain maintenance tunnels. Subject treated for dehydration. Park security assumed individual was intoxicated and details of incident were imaginary. Incident 944-U2. Date mostly redacted. A 12-year-old boy found severely injured in a maze hallway. In Maze Hallway B, with third-degree burns on hand. Subject claimed to have been detained in a windowless brick room for approximately 7 hours by an individual calling himself. I'm not reading the name, just a pyromane down. Burned the victim. The victim recalls being told part of the show. SCP-944 does not contain the area described. Incident 944-U. Date mostly expunged. Emerged from the maze 101.6 centimeters or 3.4, no, 3 feet 4 inches tall. After pausing before a shrinking mirror, called of fun. Subject was 175 centimeters, 5'9", on entering the maze. Foundation personnel intercepted police report of this incident. Area secured. Class B anesthetics administered. SCP establishment and containment initiated. Additional investigation revealed that redacted individuals are missing after entering SCP-944. Addendum. Post-containment experimentation. Use of robot drones to navigate SCP-944 do not appear to trigger anomalous effects. Therefore, use of D-class personnel in experiment is approved. Experiment 944C. Date. This is getting very dry. Basically, the hall of mirrors. There's other stuff. Well, oh, you know what? Let's finish. Let's finish this. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Let's quickly before I do that. Up there. Ones. No, you know what? Let's. Ensure technical difficulties are still functioning as intended. Fine. Fine. But you're on watching there. Holding for. Can spell the word story. So that's a weird specific question. Yes, I can apparently. I apparently can adequately writing correct. Oh, that's the wrong. That should be good. Perfect. Absolutely. There we go. I knew something was missing. All right. Date redacted. Subject D. Well, no, this is actually scan this. Oh, I should have scanned that while doing that, but let's go through this. Basically, subject big number allowed to walk through randomly through SCP-944. Subject observed to walk through mirror 22. Hallway mirror 22. Hallway see and disappeared. GPS tracking indicated that C1254 was 700 away in redacted. Subject recaptured and claimed to have walked out of the mirror in hotel room. Mirror 22 appeared non-anomalous when experiment after experiment 944C2, date redacted. Subject D2132 allowed to enter SCP-44. Subject walked into mirror 5, hallway A. Security team dispatched after hearing subject scream. D21332 observed trapped in slash behind mirror, unable to determine which. Mirror broken during attempt the distraction of D. Expunged. Oh boy. Date expunged. Experimentin 9443. No, it's all very dry. Well, the other options are to be functional of use. Quickly out. And why don't we now let's swap over from an SCP tab because I don't know the other one that I want to read later saved. Also, these, because I'm pacing myself and reading them, take longer than I would expect. No, wait, that's the SCP that we're reading. This is a story. Apparently, this story is in the public domain. I know nothing about it. It could be good. It could be not great. It could be perfectly adequate. It is apparently a classic. I've heard. Horror stories not my thing, and honestly, I'm a little bit disturbed already. Like, this is a fun idea, and I like it, and we're here, and I really, yeah, no, So this is The Ancient Lights by Algernon Blackwood. Now, from Southwater, where he left the train, the road led due. He knew. For the rest, he trusted to luck. Being one of those born walkers who dislikes asking the way, he had the instinct, and, as a rule, served him well. This is written in very specific English language that I might not be well at reading. We might just hard skip it. Papa. Let's start that over. From Southwater, where he left the train, the road led due west. That he knew. For the rest, he trusted to luck. Being one of those born walkers who disliked asking. He had that instinct, and as a rule, it served him well. A mile or so due west along the sandy road, till you come still on the right. Then across the view, you'll see the red house straight before you. He glanced at the postcard's instructions once again, and once again he tried to decipher the scratched-out sentence, without success. It had been so elaborately inked over that no word was legible. Inked-out sentences in a letter were always enticing. He wondered what it was that had to be very carefully obliterated. The afternoon was boisterous, with a tearing, shouting wind that blew from the sea. Across the Sussex wild, massive clouds with roundabout piled up edges, pennoned across gaping space for blue. Yep, this is absolutely older style English literature writing. I'm doing great with that. Ba 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 ba. Mm, 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 mm. Far away, the ba 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 ba. Um, away the line of ba 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 ba. Yeah, blue as that. Far away, the line of dawn swept the horizon like an arriving wave. Canterbury Ring rode their crest, scuttling ship, hull down before the wind. He took his hat off and walked rapidly, breathing great draughts of air and exhilaration. The road was deserted, no horsemen, bicycles, or motors, not even a tradesman's cart, no single one. But anyhow, he could never have asked the way, keeping a sharp eye for the still. He pounded along, while winds tossed the cloak across his face and made the waves across the blue puddled in the valley road. The trees showed their under leaves of white. The bracken and the high new grass bent all the way. Great life was in the day, high spirits and everywhere. Not what that says. Oh wow! Remember to blink. Hello, Ezekiel. It's been a while. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I've been absorbed into reading spooky stories. I've already been disturbed by some SCPs. Like, genuinely, I'm already disturbed and they're pretty mild. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed. Today is mostly narrator voice, so you're going to hear more of this rather than natural timbre. Timbre, is that the right word? I don't think that's the right word. Good, splendid. We are currently reading, honestly, we're stumbling our way through spooky stories. That's what we're doing. We're stumbling our way through everything. And we're currently reading Ancient Lights by Algernon Blackwood. A thing I have never read before, hence my stumbling through of everything ever. Where was I? I don't even know where I was before I looked over it yet. Obliterated blue puddles. Let's just start at the top of that paragraph. It's only paragraph 2 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're going to be here a while on just this one. It's not absorbently long, but I'm not a fast reader. Goodly. Ended. Where was I now? Okay. The afternoon was boisterous, while tearing with a tearing, shouting wind that blew from the sea across the Sussex. Was I actually here? I think I may have just skipped a paragraph. I don't remember. Brain gone. Massive clouds with rounded piled up edges, penned across great gaping spaces of blue sky. Far away, the line of downs swept the horizon like an arriving wave. And Canterbury Ring Road their crest. Although this one's written in very older English literature, we're doing splendidly through fumbling through it. Honestly, that's truly what's happening. Also, apparently the expressions don't want to work now. That explains why I am so blank faced. Pull down before the wind. I really should at least finish a sentence before I go off on a side. He took his hat off and walked rapidly, breathing great draughts of air, with delight and exhilaration. The road was deserted. No, I really did just jump in the middle of that. Alright. The road was deserted. No horsemen, bicycles, or motors. Not even a tradesman cart. No single walker. But anyhow, he would never have asked the way. Keeping a sharp eye for the stills, he pounded along, whilst the wind tossed the cloak against his face, and making waves across the blue puddles in the yellow road. The trees showed their underleaves of white. The bracken and high new grass bent all one way. Great life was in the high spirit and everywhere, and for a something surveyor's clerk just out of an office, this was like a Croydon surveyor's clerk. Just out of an office, this was like a holiday at the sea. It was a day of high adventure, and his heart rose up to meet the mood of his umbrella with the silver ring ought to have been a sword, and his brown shoes would have been top boots with spurs upon the heel where hid the enchanted castle and the princess with the hair of sunny gold. His horse. Oh boy! This is getting harder to read by the sentence. Help. Help. Help, I've made a great mistake in choosing this one at random. The sight came suddenly into view and nipped adventure in the bud. Everyday clothes took him prisoner again. He was a surveyor's clerk, middle age, earning £3 a week. Coming from okay, this is old. Frightened to see a client's proposed alteration in the wood. Something to ensure a better view from the dining room window. Across the fields, perhaps a mile away, he saw the red house gleaming in the sunshine and wrestling on the still a moment to get his breath as he noticed a copse of wood and hornbeam on the right. Ah, he told himself. So that be the wood he wants to cut down to improve the view. We'll have a look at it. There were boards up, of course, but there was an inviting little path as well. I'm not a trespasser, he said. Part of my business. This is. Oh, that's part of the view. He scrambled awkwardly over the gate and entered the. Oops, I don't know what the hell that word is trying to be. A little round would bring him to the field again, but the moment he why is but the beginning of a paragraph? Someone did this wrong when they converted this to web format. Fun times, truly a horror. But the moment he passed the tree, the wind ceased shouting, and the silent stillness dropped upon the world. So dense was the grove that the sunshine only came through in isolated patches. The air was close. He mopped his forehead and green felt hat, but a low branch knocked it off again at once, and he saw an elastic twig swung back and dropped an elastic twig swung back and stung his face. My goodness. Can I get through this and make it entertaining? Who knows? Who truly does know? This is. Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna give it a go. And again, it's not as long as my brain thinks it is. We're fine. We can get through this. Commitment and abject stubbornness is genuinely what this is. All right. Also, I lost my elastic. Right there it is. I say as I have fully lost it. For a little path. The thing is, my brain isn't comprehending what I'm reading. That's the real problem. Ba, 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 ba. The brain completed. Everything's fine. No, I've actually fully lost my place. Genuinely, right? They skip a. Okay, let's start from the function. There we go. There it is. There it is. I found the sentence. The magic of the Control F tool. There were flowers along both edges of the little path. Glades opened on either side. Ferns curved about in damper corners, and the smell of earth and foliage was rich, and it was cooler here. With an enchanting wood, what? Turning down a small green glade where the sunshine flickered like wings. How it danced and fluttered and moved about. He put a dark blue flower in his buttonhole. Again, caught by an oak as he rose, was knocked from his head, falling across his eyes, and this time he did not put it on. Swinging his umbrella, he walked through with uncovered head, whistling rather loudly as he went. But the thickness of the trees hardly encouraged whistling, and something of his gait and spirit seemed to leave him. Suddenly found himself treading circumspectly with caution. Stillness in the wood was so peculiar. There was a rustle among the and leaves, and something shot across the path 10 yards ahead. Stopped abruptly, an instant with head cocked sideways to stare, dived again beneath the underbrush with the speed of a shadow. He started like a frightened child, laughing the next second at a mere pheasant could make. In the distance, he heard wheels upon the road, and wondered why the sound pleasant. Good old butcher's cart, he said to himself, and realized that he was going in the wrong direction and had somehow got turned around, for the road should be behind him. Oh boy, this one's dry currently. Also, heavily struggling. Yeah, that's what I call far too many paragraphs. Well, if you are interested in reading this story for yourself and witnessing how it ends or functionally really begins, I suggest looking up Ancient Lights by Algernon Blackwood. I might prep read this and then read it once again in the future. Honestly, that would probably have made this so much. All right, let's see. Luckily, I have another short rep as well, so let me quickly check how long these are taking me longer to get. My goodness. Well, going to read a story by Edgar Allan Poe called The Black Cat. I also haven't read this, but also public domain story. And then I believe I'll read the last FTP. We're gonna skip the creepypasta for today, likely because you actually want to prep for that. I've made up that decision as of now. Also, apparently, just reading text for an hour makes one rather tired. But I'm going to quickly go grab more tea that, and now mute. I have returned. Now, I have probably more because we're reading these blind, except for one, which I don't know, is going to be the smartest of choices. I am going to, just in case, even though I don't think it's necessary, just in case, I'm going to turn on the mature content setting, given that we're reading horror stuff that is rather unfitting. For instance, I'll wait until I turn the setting on to do that. I don't know if this will break the stream or not, but let's do it just in case. If it get locked out, or not locked out, bumped out, you should be fine. Again, unlikely, but possible that we will be doing that. I have left it on stream on accident, or just completely by accident, but it's fine. Just in case. It's a precautionary measure that I forgot to do. Alright, that is confirmed. Alright, so one of the original plans for stories was to read Stephen King's The Raft, a story about an amiibo that eats people. And I was looking up if that is a thing that's okay to read. And it contains being depicted being, eaten alive and crushed and stuff. And thank you, random Reddit post, for showing image from the film. That was not pleasant looking. No. Also, it's very obvious I'm tired. The stream was meant to start almost 3 hours ago. So we're going to get through a couple more. Hopefully the Edgar Allan Poe story will be written in a way that I can read with a sense of structure and forwardness. But let's up or all right. So, The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe. For the most wild, yet most homely narrative which I am about to pen, I neither expect nor solicit belief. Mad, indeed, would be I to expect it. In a case where my very sensitive reject their own evidence. Yet, mad am I not, and very surely do I not dream. But tomorrow I die, and oh god, this is not even easier, it's just harder to read. Okay, now the buttons work again. Splendid. We're having a great time. You know what? Let's maybe, because I'm already tired, and ignoring the fact that the stream has only been going for an hour without crashing. I do know that we streamed for a bit, maybe like an hour and a half already, and I'm getting real. You know what? How long is this? How many paragraphs? Let's count this. Welcome to I Stumble Scuffedly Through Everything Ever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. That's a lot of over 30 paragraphs splendidly, and I don't have, unfortunately, the energy for this. Damn you, scuffed internet! To the true horror of this stream, I don't have the energy to be all contained in the good. All right. Well, other idea. Let's check how many. 9, 11, 12. Okay, this is manageable. So, welcome to one of the 2 reasons that this stream exists in the first place. SCP-3008. I don't know if I should read it as 3008 or 3008. But this, along with the creepypasta, which we will be skipping over for today specifically, will be as follows. And maybe don't sneeze. Okay. let us read over everything there is to offer. SCP 3008. This one actually does creep me out. So, and this one I do, even though I don't remember all of it, I know it's spooky, at least to me. And it's a rather popular SCP. So, let's quickly get all settled in. And the entrance to SCP-3. Oh wait, special object class elucid. Literally, I don't know any other object class. The retail park containing SCP-3008 has been purchased by the Foundation and converted into Site Redacted. All public roads leading to or passing by Site Redacted have been redirected. An entrance to SCP-3008 is to be monitored at all times, and no one is to enter SCP-3008 outside of testing, as permitted by the senior researcher. Humans exiting SCP-3008 are to be detained and then debriefed prior to administration of anesthetics. Detention upon the duration. Dependent upon the duration of their stay in SCP-3008, a cover story may need to be generated prior to their release. Any other entities exiting SCP-3008 are to be terminated. Description: SCP-3008 is a large retail unit previously owned by and branded as IKEA, and I'm pronouncing that wrong for now because this feels strange to say. A popular furniture retail chain. As entering SCP-3008 through the main entrance and then passing by out of sight of the doors will find themselves transported to SCP-3008. The displacement will typically go unnoticed as no change will occur from the perspective of the victim. They will generally not become aware until they try to return to the entrance. SCP-3008-1 is a space resembling the inside of an IKEA furniture store, extending far beyond the limits of what could physically be contained within the dimensions of the retail unit. Current measurements indicated an area of at least 10 kilometers squared, with no visible external terminators detected in any direction. Inconclusive results from the unit of lesser rangefinders has led to the speculation that the space may be infinite. Ow, I bit my tongue. That's ow. SCP-3008-1 is a space resembling the. Wait, I've read that already. Next paragraph. SCP-3008-1 is inhabited by an unknown number of civilians trapped within prior to containment. Gathered data suggests they have formed a rudimentary civilization within SCP-3001, including the construction of settlements and fortifications for the purposes of defending against SCP-3008-2. SCP-3008-2 are humanoid entities that exist within SCP-3001. While superficially resembling humans, they possess exaggerated and inconsistent body proportions. Often described as being too short or too tall, they possess no facial features and are, in all observed cases, wear a yellow shirt and blue trousers, consistent with the IKEA employee uniform. SCP-3008-1 has rudimentary day-night cycles, determined by overhead lighting, with the space activating and deactivating at times consistent with opening and closing times of the original retail store. During the night, instances of SCP-3008-2 will become violent towards all other lifeforms within SCP-3008-1. During these bouts of violence, they have been heard to vocalize phrases in English that are typically variations of "The store is now closed. Please exit the building. Once day begins, SCP-3008-2. Apology. Wait. Once day begins within SCP-3008, 2 instances immediately become passive and begin moving throughout SCP-3081 seemingly at random. They are unresponsive to questioning or other verbal cues in the state. Though will remain violent if attacked. SCP-3081 is known to have one or more exit locations within, though these exits do not appear to have fixed positions, making it difficult to leave SCP-3081 once inside. Using any other door besides the main entrance to enter the structure or breaking through the walls of the retail unit leads into a non-anomalous interior of the original store. Since containment began, 14 individuals have managed to exit SCP-3008. Following extensive debriefing, all individuals have been administered anesthetics and released. Incident 3081 on at effectively 0000 hours 37. Date mostly redacted, taking place in the current century. A human male exited SCP-3008 followed 10 seconds later by an instance of SCP-3008-2. SCP-3008-2 caught and killed the man before itself being terminated by armed response personnel. This incident represents the only time an instance of SCP-3008-2 has been seen exiting SCP-3008. A full autopsy of the corpse was performed. See SCP-3008 autopsy for details. The man was carrying an IKEA-branded journal, seeming to document his time in SCP-3008-1, transcribed below. And this is the long section and the spooky part. Do I mention again that even though I'm the one reading this and I know what I'm getting into, I want to stop because I hate horror stuff. Why did I do this to myself? Oh, wonderful. Sip of tea time. I am very unsettled. Oh, we've done 3 SCPs and I know what's coming with this one. Let's go. So I'm writing this document on what I can assume is my sudden descent into insanity. I can't possibly be that bad a navigator. Yet, as I write this, I've been trapped in IKEA for 2 days. I haven't seen another person in the entire time I've been here. Though it was a prank at first. I thought it was a prank at first. Turns the place into a maze. Get all the people out and see how long it takes me to get lost. Then everyone had a good old laugh. Realized that wasn't the case when I tried to backtrack. Everything had changed. I ended up lost. Instead of the exit, I was just row and row of bookcases. I was trapped in IKEA. Soon, like the setup of a bad joke. The lights went out at 10 p.m. Nearly gave me an effing heart attack. The loud electrical thunk sound and the pitch black darkness. Place is full of beds though, and my phone had a torch on it. But no damn signal. So I found a bed and went to sleep. Soon, most of the day, trying to find a way out. No luck. Finding a restaurant serving these meatballs though, so at least I wouldn't starve. Probably the punchline to that joke. That's probably the punchline to that joke. Anyway, they were warm and fresh. I hadn't seen anyone who had cooked them. Made my way back to the beds before light cut out again, since it's too dark to search for them off. It's 9:10 a.m. now. The lights came back on a while ago. I've searched an entire area where I came in, and now the obvious is they're here. So I'm going to pick a direction and hope for the best. Day 3. My magical IKEA mystery adventure. If I wasn't sure there was something weird about this before, I am now. I walked for 3 hours in more or less a straight line. Insert IKEA joke here. Before I came across a ladder next to one of those huge stock shelves. they have here. Climbed up to get my bearings, and it looked like this place stretched on forever. Like that scene from The Lion King, except instead of trees and grass, there was shelves and tables and stuff. I had a person moving not too far away though, so I headed over. I think that's fine. Though it was a staff member at first, it was wearing a uniform. And maybe it was. And hell, maybe it was. Maybe freakish 7 tall monsters with long arms, short legs, no face, or just the kinds of things that were working at Super IKEA. Damn, completely ignored me though. And with no ears or eyes, I can't even be sure if I knew I was there. Thought about shoving it or something to get its attention, but its hands were big enough to crush a watermelon, so I decided against it. It kept moving, long, eventually I lost sight of it, so I decided to carry on the way I was going. Anyway, no comfy bed for me tonight. Looks like I've entered the improbably hard and pointy table section of the store. So I guess I'll have to make some bunched up tablecloths. Phone battery died during the day too. Didn't work anyway, but I feel like I've just lost some vital lifeline. You ever just see one of those cartoons where they're going through a door in a hallway and they just pop out another door in the same hallway? Well, that's how I feel right now. I've seen them. I mean, come on. I've loved books as much as the next guy, but this is excessive. Obviously, still moving through. I can see signs of hanging overhead passage by. Too bad none of them say exit. Not sure who I was addressing the question to. Just let's say I practiced the autobiography I'm going to write, and then get out of here. I call it my perfect normal trip to a regular IKEA. If I ever get out of that has been dashed out, as if to preserve hope. Finally found some other people. Yeah, turns out I'm not the only poor bee trapped in here. Only best trapped in here. Lucky for me, I guess. My 6th night here, 2 of those staff things came at me in the dark. Different from the first one I saw, but still messed up. Heading, heard, then coming. They were saying the store is closed and that I had to leave the building. And all nice and polite, like. Guess I'm not sure what part of it was weirder. They not have mouths, or that they were apparently trying to kill me while they were saying it. Came like rabid dogs. So I liked it. Sprinting through IKEA. The dark, like a effing madman. I saw it when I cleared another stand, and those giant stock shelves, all lit up like torches. Floodlights. They'd build a whole town here. Got a massive build out of the shelves. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Dizzy staring at a screen. Floodlights. They got a whole town. Got a massive wall built out of shelves and beds and tables and whatever else. Swear to God, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Anyway, I guess they saw me coming, or maybe they heard my manly bellows of fear, because they had a gate open and 2 people were waving me in. Heard the staff thing slam its arms into the gate behind me, and after it closed, still politely informing us that the store was closed. They had wandered off eventually, though. They called the town Exchange, because that's what the sign hanging from the ceiling directly above us. Exchange and returns. all it lit up against the night, using lights they've found and plunged into the dark, into the power lines. And there were beds and foods and people, over 50. Wonderful people with regularly sized limbs and a full set of facial features. It's now my seventh night here, and the first one not spent in darkness. Full week living in IKEA. Probably a TV show in that somewhere. Next entry. There have been a few entries, but I suppose I should entries. Now that I'm around other people, I'm starting to feel more normal. Maybe normal isn't the right word. But after a week with only the sound of my own footsteps for company, I was becoming increasingly sure that I'd just gone nuts. That I was trying in some padded room somewhere, banging my head against the wall. But no, I feel sane now. Thank you very much. Apparently, there are other towns out there, some with more people, some with less. I found that fairly mind-boggling. How can that many people go missing with no one noticing? Surely someone would have noticed, and everyone who'd gone into IKEA seems to effing vanish. Or maybe it's not everyone. Maybe they're just the lucky ones. The people here call those staff monsters. Things the staff. Apparently they are fine through the day, minding their own business, walking in the aisles. As soon as the lights go out, though, they go effing bonkers. So during the day, people go out to find food, water, whatever they need, whatever else they need. Apparently there are restaurants and shops around that randomly get restocked. No one knows how. Maybe the staff do it. Apparently they aren't good at their jobs, though, because the restocking sometimes takes a while. Which means the food needs to be rationed. Maybe if they weren't busy chasing people around in the dark, they'd be more done. They'd get more done. Apparently, when night comes, the staff go nuts and everyone holds up inside the walls. Apparently, everywhere in this place, whatever this place is, for IKEA, from whence all IKEAs sprang. Maybe we're all just in regular IKEAs and fever dream brought by mind-numbing no boredom. Who knows? Yep, still a few paragraphs to go, but we're through. Been here 10 days now. Most of the people I asked say they stopped keeping track a long time ago. One guy, Chris, had been here for years. Years. Ineligible scribbles noted. Apparently, there are rumors of people who manage to get out, and people who see the exit, only to have it vanish before their eyes. I get the feeling of not everyone believes that, but I do. Explains how we got stuck in the first place, sort of. And I mean, come on, staff monsters, endless row of high quality Swedish furniture. I don't know why they would find a disappearing door so hard to believe in. Anyway, I went out scavenging for food at a nearby shop and Sandra and Jerry today. Once you learn the landmarks of this place, it's not so hard to navigate. The overhead signs, a lot. There are others, not too far in the distance. Huge section of those giant stock shelves collapsed against each other, and way off in east, well, I'll assume it's east. Apparently, IKEA doesn't sell compasses. In some kind of tower that looks like it's made out of wood, reaches all the way to the ceiling. Maybe they're trying to break out through the roof, light up at night. Also there must be people there. It's apparently a few days. Means it must be miles away. So no one here really knows for sure. Apparently I got lucky, sleeping out in the open for a week without getting bits by the staff. That's me. Lucky, lucky, lucky. We found some food in the shop. Guess the staff restocked it during the night. I mean, there was a that was nice of them. There was a telephone on the way, so I figured I'd try it. There was a voice on the other end, but they were just talking nonsense. Random words stuck together, no real meaning. Ever see a video of someone with aphasia? Sounded like that. Didn't answer when I spoke, so I just them anyway. Sandra said all the phones in here are the same. Oops. Asking the journal questions. Entry. I've not done that. I've done it twice after what, like 7 entries. I was thinking last night. Ceiling on this place is pretty high, and as far as anyone can tell, it goes on forever. Shouldn't there be some kind of weather in here? Sure, I read about some NASA building that was so high it had its own weather patterns, clouds and stuff. The place is definitely bigger than that. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I've so temperature. Added to the grand list of weird BS. Staff attacked the exchange last night. In around 20 or 30 of them. All of them just asking us to leave the store as calm as you like, while trying to smash the walls down with their bare hands. Apparently this happened pretty regularly, so everyone's prepared for it. Knives from the restaurants, lawnmower blades from hatchets, fire axe. One guy, Wisem, even made a functional crossbow. Anyway, the walls have holes in them, which I hadn't noticed before, specifically so out staff when they attack. Took a couple of them down myself. They didn't seem to bleed, which is weird. They go down as easy as a regular person. Start sticking holes in them. Had to haul the bodies away. Morning. Apparently the dead ones will attract more during the night. So we had to get them away from the range. We had a couple of those trolley things. Used. We moved the big boxes around. Loaded them up and over to pickup. Apparently people just name everything after whatever signs hang. Pickup was grisly. There were hundreds, maybe thousands of staff all up. Smell. Apparently they're bleeding. Their curiosity got the better of me while we were loading them up. Look at one more close up. One of the more cut up ones. They were just in. Or something that looks like skin all the way through. No muscle, bone, no organs. They're all just really alive. Are they really just alive in the first place? They all seem like they have bones. Them moving around, pounding on the walls. And I'm sure I felt more resistance than just skin. Knife. In during the night. Maybe something happens to them when they die. One more thing. Ever increasing list of weird stuff goes on in here, I guess. I feel like I get way farther than I do a couple of it. Something occurred to me after the staff attack the other night. Every time you see a situation like this here in film, like it's the end of the world or everyone is trapped on an island or whatever, one group like ours starts to form. People always seem to turn on each other, fighting for food or dominance or whatever. That hadn't happened here. Apparently people from other towns come by from time to time, check in or trade. They're short on something. Everything's always cordial, friendly even. Maybe it's the spread of the staff, or perhaps constant restocking of supplies in the shops means that nothing to fight over. Maybe people are just better than they are generally given credit for. That's nice, though. I think I'll go with that one. A dozen people showed up at the gates this afternoon from a town called Crawleys. Apparently, the staff broke through the walls, tore the town apart during the night. These 12 are the only survivors out of 100 who let them in, obviously. One more point in the human decency column. Later, I asked if anyone knew how many of these towns there were out there. Between us and the new folks, we managed to come up with over 20 names, 20 towns filled with people. Who knows how many beyond that? Mottos for this place seem to be, how is that even possible? Surely someone, somewhere must be looking for thousands of people. Must be in here. Been over a little 2 months now. Not that much changed, as it turned out. A couple new people showed up, same story as the rest of us. Nice little trip to IKEA. Suddenly trapped in bookcases, house of faceless weirdos. Really bookcases. Weirdos, the staff attacked the exchange once or twice a week. Told them and haul their bodies off. Sometimes they hurt some of us. Killed a guy called Jared a couple weeks ago. It was awful. Without regular humans still bleeding here, even if the staff don't. Try our best. None of us are doctors. Jared was a good guy. He deserved better. It occurred to me a couple days after that none of us are really looking for a way out of here. We don't even know where we start. Apparently one of those quadcopter things, camera attached, buzzed at the exchange. I thought it meant someone was finally looking for us. That helped. That help was on the way. Apparently it's the first time this happened, though. Same thing happened a few months ago. Oh, it's not the first. Everyone's still here. No idea if it saw us. It didn't stop if it did. It kept flying. We could not see it. Note. Based on recovery time of the journal, the entry appears to line up approximately with our first successful test piloting a drone into SCP-3008-1. Analysis of footage shows a walled settlement under a sign labeled Exchange and Return. Attempt to relocate the settlement failed. Origin of previously cited drone is unknown. I'm going to take a see after that. I started talking to people about the stuff they missed from home during dinner today. Probably not the best idea I've ever had. Everyone seemed pretty down after. A bunch of people have families, husbands and wives, kids, dogs. Franklin apparently had a pet llama, though I'm not sure I buy that. But apparently some of the people here have serious old gaps in their knowledge. Very odd gap. 3 of them have never heard of the International Space Station. 2 of them seem to think Redacted was the Prime Minister. And one of them had apparently never heard of the Statue of Liberty. I believe them. They seemed just as confused as the rest of us. The more I thought about it, though, the more it started to explain a few things. What if the reason no one is looking for all us missing people is because we haven't all come from the same place? It's going to sound weird. Maybe that be our motto. But what if all the people here have come from different dimensions, realities, whatever you call it? Seems enough TV shows know the drill. I've seen it. Sarah comes from a place where there's no Statue of Liberty. They didn't launch it. They didn't launch statue of the words. They didn't launch a space station where Wiseman was from. If everyone here came from different places, even ones that just seem identical, there'd be no huge missing persons panic, no mass search. It'd just be a blip, single person missing in a world, nonstop news. Well, that's a fun train of thought. Just realized that yesterday was the 6 month anniversary of my arrival here. I wonder if IKEA sells party hats. The routine around here has remained more or less the same. More new folks show up, one every couple of weeks or so. Occasionally, we get visitors from one of the nearby towns, usually checkouts at aisle 630. We check in with each other from time to time, occasionally supplies if low on something, comforting in a way. Sometimes, oh wait, sorry, I skipped a line. A reminder that we aren't all alone in here. Small glimpses of civilization. Sometimes they bring medical supplies. Apparently, there's a pharmacy a few towns down from checkouts. Stocks run down, so they share out what they never heard. Yeah, with a pharmacy. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if I stumbled across an IKEA organ harvesting lab. Wouldn't would certainly explain staff. Speaking of our faceless jailers, attacks getting worse now. Twice as many staff. Attacks have increased. We just try following one of them today. A few weeks ago, Sarah wanted to see if it led back to a staff room or something. Didn't seem to go anywhere though. Walked. Had to turn back before. We've been reinforcing the walls, trying to arm ourselves better. Certainly no lack of maintenance of material. Certainly no lack of materials to use. Wiseman's been crossbows. Ammunition. But I'm gonna put. No new personnel has entered SCP 3008 at site in redacted, and the time spent indicated in the attacks are getting bad now, almost every night. And with so many staff, bodies almost pile high enough. I'm Halls think we're in trouble. Changes. Changes done. Got hit pretty bad last night. Not many casualties. The wall is wrecked. Finally figured out why the attackers blading. Box of supplies had one staff in there. No idea what happened. Apparently a piece of one of Apparently a piece will draw one of them. Too late. Too many bodies for all away. All before. Candace has called a meeting. Talking of abandoning exchange. Try to get shelter at checkouts or something. It's already getting late. Be some of us. Still. We'll find. I was fine for that first out in the dark, all, but then how often? Only writing this for a sense of closure, I guess. Me. Anyone finds this. If this is the final entry here, I hope whoever's reading this doing so from outside. Biggest fear, if I die tonight. Wake up here. This is the last entry. It's assumed that while attempting to reach checkout settlement, he was separated from the rest of the by pursuing SCP-3082 and happened upon. That concludes the reading of SCP-2008. That took a while. I don't know how long it took because I don't know when I started reading that specific segment. But we're going to roll with it because I'm tired and we're technically 8, 9, 10. Technically reaching the 2.5 hour mark if you count all the delays for crashing. I'm getting really tired because I started technically an hour late. But if you're here now or here watching the VOD, I am glad we got to finish out on a story that I find eerily creepy and rather enjoyable. It's so freaky. I tend to said aforementioned branded for that's what I find fun. Waltzing around the place when I can. So to me, we had a rough beginning, a medium middle, and a fantastic ending. For this stream in particular, absolutely we were scuffed as hell. Who knows why everything happened the way it did, but I do believe now good time to the ever so presence of waltzing our way through. So, this has been Spooky Remnants Week. The grand final, not so grand final because we were scuffed and I really should have proofread the stories to make sure they were good ones. But hey, if it's not scuff, it's not VTuber land. And I found this quite enjoyable. So, we're going to find someone to raid. I'm not in a game or anything, so let's who to do, who to go to. Why did I get all sing-songy? Who knows? I know who I want to send to. There are options. There are many good options. I realize that I need to put headphones on to check if they're ending or not again. It's been so weird not having BGM, and I think for eeriness, I will leave it off for the final portion. That's super ultra mega spooky. Alright, I almost immediately click the end soon screen rather than checking for what is happening. Splendid. There are options. There were quite a few options. Like the stream 8. Alright, all the ads. Oh yes, truly the spookiest thing ever. Advertisement! Much advertisement. This person's streaming for a very long time. Alright. Alright. Well. Okay, I know where I'm going. Absolutely. Let's go. The raid method will be, first of all, slash raid. Let's do that first. Nope, that's not raid. That's not how you spell that. I spelled raddy. There we go. This should be, yes, that's correct. Okay, we're good. We're sending off. We're being all smart. The raid message is Spooky Remnant Raid. Spooky I can Spooky Remnant Raid. And then the site. And I will say, as a quick, super quick, ultra mega quick aside, emotes are near completion. Well, they are completed. They're being processed. They're being processed. They weren't ready for today, unfortunately, but they are being processed. So as of next week, they will be that. This is the raid message. Remnants raid. And then let us, there we go. That's good. Yes. And next week, or this week now, no, we're still today for me. The streams will likely be all crammed into the beginning of the week so I can finally build the new PC and have updated content. So that'll be tomorrow. Rest well, everyone. Goodbye.